now.
Ouais, choc-les, choc-les, ouais, choc-les, choc-les, choc-les. Ouais, voilà ce qu'ils me disent, les entends parler et ils me disent j'arrête que pour rappeler la mise. Petit pas sur la piste et le succès chiffres. La somme je la triple, la concurrence la dribble et le stade est en délire. Ça fait choquer, j'arrive pour tous les choquer. Toute la foule elle est choquée. J'espère que t'es accroché, accroché. Gauche, droite, esquive les rageux. Coach m'a rajouté du temps de jeu. Dans l'action, ouais, je me sens en feu. Je suis on fire, fire. Je fais la différence au compteur. Money time, ça shoot sur le buzzer. Switch que je suis on fire, fire. Choqué, j'arrive pour tous les choquer. Toute la foule elle est choquée. J'espère que t'es accroché, accroché. Choqué, j'arrive pour tous les choquer. Toute la foule elle est choquée. J'espère que t'es accroché, accroché.
Welcome to the XXL Nutrition HQ. XXL Nutrition is the most popular online supplement brand in Europe. Our proteins, pre-workouts, dietary supplements, and of course our sportswear is developed with the greatest possible care. We are known for providing the highest quality products and the best service. Daily, we are working with a motivated team on new developments, promotions, and quality control to serve our customers in the best possible way. XXL Nutrition is an established name in the B2B and B2C market. Therefore, we can also be found in many gyms, supplement stores, and supermarkets. Offering the highest possible quality is the foundation of our brand. Only the best ingredients and materials are used for our products. Everyone at our company has passion for health and fitness. That's why we want to provide our customers, and of course ourselves, with the best products. We prepare all orders in our own warehouse, which has the capacity to process more than 10,000 orders daily. Thank you for supporting XXL Nutrition. We are XXL, the most popular brand in sports nutrition.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to yet another day of some good Siege tonight. I'm not going to be alone. My name is Dianic, and next to me we have the good old Mighty. So, we two, as a duo, you may have seen us in here in that league and a few other leagues together, but tonight we're here on Voltage League, and we have one match for you guys tonight. Mighty, which two teams are we going to be spectating today?
We are seeing the Muscle Sheep's Dyavoli against NXT, the team that is promptly one of the league's favorite, as they're also the team of the league's organizer. So we are having two teams that have been performing very well in the past weeks, and they're definitely looking into grabbing that win tonight. It is a best of one, so every good, I would say, underdog story begins with a best of one, doesn't it?
It does indeed, but because it is a best of one, you only have one chance to prove yourself. But the question stands, which map are we going to see in this following best of one? I would hope and would like a little bit, and we all know it. We all know I love a good clubhouse game. But the real question stands, what map are we going to see? And it is going to be Chalet. What do we think, Mighty? Is that... Well, you're the stats guy here, Mighty. What do we think about this?
I would say I think that is a map that goes in the middle of both teams, especially if we have the hands of NXT. NXT has currently been competing a lot in the South Breach qualifiers. They've only played big scale maps as both Nighthaven, Lair, Cafe, or Consulate, and that's like the big scale maps that we have in Siege. So they're quite prepped on doing good place where you need a lot of time to enter key positions, retake them, gather information, also destroy a lot of utility. So they're pretty much good setup for Chalet. Meanwhile, Diavoli have been struggling a lot lately, and they are doing fine on mid-scale maps and to standard maps. So I think that Chalet map is a big mid-type for both of these teams. They should be goodly well prepped for that map.
Sounds pretty good to me. Again, you're the stats guy here. I'm more today. I'll be more like a little bit of the vibe guy, you know. And let's be honest, the muscle sheeps, like, come on, that does give a good ring to it. But also Go Next, as we all know, we've seen it in multiple open qualifiers how they've performed. So they have performed quite well. So it could be a little bit of a stronger opponent. And I would say for the next, we go to the team cards and look what do we have here for both these two teams. The first one, the Muscle Sheeps, as you call them. The best map is actually Chalet. And the worst map is Cafe. So it already plays a little bit in their favor, considering Chalet is one of their best maps here. But that's only for one of the teams. Of course, it's the second team after all. So we're going to also have to look a little bit at Go Next side. And I do think that Chalet might be up there, but not completely as their favorite, because their favorite map and their best map is Nighthaven Labs. How does Chalet and Nighthaven stand kind of in correlation to each other, Mighty?
I would say there are multiple things that you have to take in perspective. There are a lot of wooden floors. There's a lot of play coming in that's vertical. You have a lot of walls that you need to clear out. These main breaches that you just grant you access to the building on multiple angles is one of the key sections that you have to cover, especially that counts for Chalet as well, especially when you're having these double floor elevation that you need to defend on multiple elevation at once. That same counts in for Nighthaven as well. So that is something of these cases that NXT definitely will take with them onto Chalet for this matchup.
Now we have it. And also here we have our players. 5 from each side who is going to be playing today. And I think for all of us, there's a few names we already know, especially because, again, we've already watched Go Next, playing multiple open qualifiers, playing other leagues, but also the Muscle Sheeps. There's a few pretty well-known names in there. So I think, you know what? I'm gonna be the first one to say it right here and now. I think this matchup is going to be closer than a lot of people expect. I would even say this could be an overtime game, just because of the experience from the players, because we know of these few players, they have been performing when it comes to their skill level. They shouldn't be too far apart from each other, but today it also comes down to the fact, can they play good as a team together? How well can they even play good as a team together? Because Go Next, they have shown that they can do it. Muscle Sheeps, they're gonna have to pull up a little bit with that. But now it comes down. I already took away my prediction. But what are the predictions from the staff? What does the staff think? And, you know, sorry guys, I already told you my prediction. But let's have a look at the other staff members. Ooh. Mighty.
I would
You're
say
on
it's
the
a
other
very
side.
equal split. I'm on the other side. Yeah, I just mentioned it. We have a best of one scenario here. We always love these underdog stories coming in on these best of one series, especially when you come in as an underdog in a best of one. You have nothing to lose. You have nothing that is expected from you. Meanwhile, when you are the favorite of the audience and also in the predictions, you have some pressure on yourself. So the main question is if you can just put that pressure away and just concentrate on the game. Because if you keep that pressure on your head, that the audience is on our side, the predictions is on our side, maybe also the organizer of this league is on our side and making some pressure on us, that could definitely destroy your game flow. So that is the first thing that NXT is definitely looking into, just placing away on the bench and saying, let's focus on this one map that we got and show them that we are the better team. And when we're talking about these better teams, we had some graphics showing who and where these teams are placed. So we have place number 6 in the hands of Go Next versus Diavoli, the Muscle Sheeps, on place number 7. So as you just mentioned, we will see a match that will be a little bit more equal and a little bit more balanced than the most guys think, after my opinion.
But do you think it's going to be an overtime, or do you think somebody's just going to run away with 7 points?
I would say we will see a 7-5. I think we will go short, very close into overtime, but we won't see overtime. But the 7-5 could go in either direction. I would say maybe that NXT is a little bit ahead just of the reasons that they're bringing to the table, as they're Recent win has just only been 3 days away. They just lost proudly against Team Alpha 7-8 on night table laps. That was their previous game before end of this match. Meanwhile, Diavoli have had a little bit more struggle. Their last win has been the 30th of September. So it's nearly been a month since they have won the last game streak. They recently just lost 2-7 and 5-7 against Besiktas on Nighthaven and on Clubhouse against the Wild Academy. So they have had a very tough run. So they will have definitely done some, I would say, some drawing work back at the drawing table, finding out and figuring out where they're having some lacks and just getting those get rid of so they can concentrate back on this game. But another thing that we have to keep a mention, Clubhouse, not a Clubhouse, Chalet is a map with some basements. Where do we see the preferred site on Chalet, after your opinion, Dianic?
Obviously, let's be honest. Games and bar should be the number one pick when it comes to the sides. After that, there's a little bit of a split opinion. A lot of people would say the basement spot has become more viable, a lot more playable. I still would say that it's third best side to pick. I would still go by the name that kitchen and dining should be the second most picked side. And then you can decide, right, do you want to go top floor, do you want to go basement? At that point, it's just what side can you play better?
Yeah.
But for both sides, there's pretty huge weaknesses, and depending on the attacking team, how they want to be attacking that, because there's multiple entry spots, because there's multiple ways of attacking these sides, it just makes it a little bit more difficult. But the number one bomb side should be games and bar, because it is so much defender sided. If you just play Meza upstairs with a potential Azami, with a shield, with a warden, you give yourself so much power in room. As long as you stay alive, you're literally good to go on the top floor side.
Definitely.
Place a little bit of a Womai on the blue stairs. That's it. You basically have nearly the entirety of the top floor, what you need, under your control. So you have two key positions, which are also very hard to get rid of. That's why that bomb side is very dangerous to play against. But there is this little bit of a sneaky attack that has been evolving a little bit recently with the Maverick going into garage, opening up the below the stock wall, just a tiny little hole to see through to make stock unplayable. So it does work to play a little bit of backhanded, but most of the times you will need top floor control in order to plant and play in bar. And there, from there on, I said kitchen would be my preferred next side. And then whatever you want to go. But Mighty, I do have one more question.
Okay.
I know I'm annoying. I know. Listen.
You're not annoying. Come on.
I know. Listen. That is sarcasm. We both know that's sarcasm. But I'm not here for this. I'm not here to deal with your sarcasm. But we've seen so much good performance from Go Next. We know the individual skills from the Muscle Sheeps. Is individual skill gonna help them a lot more? Because again, on the side of Go Next, you have this team play. They have been performing really well together as a team, have not been making too many changes. Where on the other end, we have a little bit of a new thing. We have players who are experienced, who are playing together, but are they gonna be able today to like perform as a team, especially on a map like Chalet?
I would say the opening is definitely there, especially when you have like these multiple unique talents to play against a team that plays as a unit. You can always steal away with it. If your team plays as a unit, they always wait that the opponent also does the same. So you can get some surprise momentum if you can get them on the wrong side foot. But I would say the thing here is with Gonax, they are so good as a unit. They're so good in the matter of doing these refrags that I don't think that will be the big sheep for Diavoli to take, as that will be a great and grand risk to take, for my opinion. And I would say they should recently just figure out a way to play as a unit and just make it very hard for NXT to just get these back rotations, always these repositionings so that they can play alongside each other. That is the main thing that I would see in the attacks and also in the defense lines of Diavoli that they need to look into, just splitting apart the plays of NXT.
And how well is that given from the map itself? I mean, we saw from the side of Muscle Sheeps. Honestly, you said it once now. I'm just gonna go with it. Right? It's just fantastic. No, from Diavoli. Chalet as a map itself does give a lot of crossfire opportunities and stuff like that. And we've seen that is their best map. But also Chalet gives a lot of opportunity for individual play, which can be denied by team play. But how much is the map initiating that crossfire, that team play, or even that individual play?
I would say it does like give yourself good opportunities because you have some multiple angles that you can roam through. You have 2 staircases from the basement and upwards. You have 3 staircases from the first elevation into top floor. You have a lot of corners where you can probably sit. You have a lot of dark corners, small rooms. I would say also the closet in between bathroom and also master is one of the rooms that are very often overdrone. That is a great position to get yourself a big, I would say, flank position from, like maybe also surprise position, as we've seen that in the recent weeks. But else, it's also a map with a lot of doorways, a lot of windows that you can promptly just jump out. Yes, you will get detected, but you can get yourself a way roam, like a runaway, or maybe get a reposition that can hurt, because especially K9 double window into K9 door is a very quick rotation way from Mazine into that office section. And if you're on piano, not watching yourself on your third, that will definitely hit you.
That could hurt. Also, we've gotten a little bit of a message from the producer. And I shall quote, message from producer. I might have chosen Go Next, but I love Muscle Sheep.
So that's some defense lines coming in by our dear producer.
So basically what we have here is we had 3 votes for Go Next, 2 votes for Muscle Sheep. I think there has been one imposter, and that was the producer. So we have actually, from the staff, the predictions are actually 3 Muscle Sheeps and 2 Go Next. And honestly, I know a lot of the times we're actually like playing together, having the same votes, thinking kind of which team is actually going to win. This is one of the few times the 2 of us actually have completely 2 different opinions. You're more of the underdog side. I'm gonna go with the team I've spectated and watched quite a lot more, which is Go Next. I mean, the boys just showed it for me. You gotta support the boys sometimes. You just gotta go with them.
I would say the last time I voted against NXT, I got a brutal learning of one player, and that player is in the roster tonight in the head of Go Next. It's Janoski. I just remembered my cast on Skyscraper when they begun in the attack, and I thought this will be a harsh game to play against. But NXT completely rocked, and then I think Janoski went double digits in like 4 rounds.
Well, and there we have it. The game is starting slowly but steady. Let's see if you've learned your lesson once again, or if I'm gonna learn my lesson for once and actually starting to listen to you, as we're gonna head into the first and only map of tonight, LA.
So,
and honestly, I cannot wait.
Yeah, me neither. And we are in the ban phase, so I will just bring along the recent stats there as well. The most banned operators that we have in the hand of Dyavoli is Montagne and Tubero, both in the upper category. Monty with a 50% ban rate and Tubero with a 38% of ban rate. Meanwhile, NXT has a Monty and Valk Solis ban with a 44 to 31%. So may we see one of those, may not. Also, Ying, Maverick, and Solis are potential bans as they are above 20 to 25%. So Dyavoli does definitely take their most banned attack operator in the hands of Montagne. We don't need to talk about Monty. Monty is a menace. He's a castle, he's a fortress, especially on Chalet, where you can use him as a living drone, giving you a lot of intel and make some pressure points to become real and gaining these key positions quite early on. That is a pure weapon, definitely. Grim as well, covering up these flanks and also maybe mocking out players over there. Hiding spots as on Chalet, as we just mentioned, many dark corners where you can hide yourself a little bit and maybe get an upper hand position to these late flanks and also a surprise momenta. Very understandable. Valkyrie, we have a big map with a lot of angles, with a lot of square footage that you can destroy and play vertically. So understandable to just make it a little bit harder for the defenders to play vertically with C4s. And Malusi, entryways and also approachways to be slowed down. Makes it easier for the defenders to swing you and maybe also spot out before swinging you to have a granted kill, or better said, an easier gunfight with you in the attacking side. So that's 4 bans very well concluded on Chalet, very much well understandable for all these bans.
God damn, you really have the stats for everything, don't you?
I do my prep work.
Listen, you know what I'm imagining you right now behind the screen? We all remember, do we all know this meme with the songs playing, this one guy really like try-harding and sweating, and there's one guy just living their life? Honestly, that's us right now. you have the stats completely like trying to try hard everything here for, and I'm just like, I'm just going with the vibe here. Honestly, I mean, I think you said it perfectly. I think the band's just absolutely nailed. Can't say anything against it. Azami is going to be dangerous on the top floor, same as the Warden. The Fenrir is going to make it very difficult because, again, individual skill to the side of Dyavoli is very important. Now, if the Fenrir playing, what does that do? It takes away your vision. It makes your shooting a little bit more difficult. It's going to be a little bit more tougher for that side. But, on the other hand, Dyavoli, they are starting on the attack. So they could be, and they only need, theoretically speaking, 2 rounds in order to get themselves on a good start here. Where it go next, the more rounds they can get on the defense, the easier. Let's be honest. I do think Dyavoli, they have a good chance here to, you know, hurt a little bit go next.
I think they will have some good chances, especially because I'll bring back these stats because that's my work. They're very much stronger on the attack lines than they are on their own defenses. They are currently winning 50%. That means every second round that they play in the attack, they win. Meanwhile, in the defense lines, they only win every 4th round. On Chalet, on a map that is very potential based in the defense, that is definitely not the things that you're looking for. But the beginnings are looking against Dyavoli though, but they're coming back. What is happening, Dianic?
Absolutely just going down. As we can see, the plant is already happening and happened. A lot of the kills just go down 1, 2, 3, and 4. As Cassie finds themselves in a 1v3 scenario. Does find one, does find a second one on top of that. Is only one player standing and left. As the defuse is coming through, he's going to have to be careful because the timer is ticking down, but the player is up above. And for some reason, Cassie, he does look like he can turn this around. As he just swings around the corner, waiting for the perfect moment, gets himself a kill. That's how easy and how quick a round can just completely go 180. Talking about how strong the defense are, how much it should favor the defense bar and gaming, that we have it completely proven wrong. Maybe it is time for me to learn my lesson.
It's a bit early to call on that, but I just mentioned on Dyavoli is a little bit stronger in their attack lines than they are in the defenses, and they're just pretty much show what they're capable of. They're being owed by, I would say, through operators just falling through the roster quite early in that round, and immediately they found adaptation, then they find the right angles to fight back onto that 33 equal standing of man counts. And that's like, they took it from there, gained the opportunity, thought they had a chance to just do that quick plant on the site. They tried it, it worked out, they jumped out, didn't quite work that way, but Casey was there to gain that round for their advantage. As Dyavoli now leads 1-0. And I would also say, if we talk about the strength of Dyavoli in the attack lines, let's look a little bit into NXT as well. As funny as it sounds, NXT is looking a little bit better in their own attacks than they do in the defenses as well. So may that be the first count against them on Chalet, especially for that bar gaming spot. You just saw that they weren't quite in the positions they may have wanted to be in, and they were not quite prepped and ready for the attackers to come in, as the spot was completely empty and freed for that plan to come in as fast as it did.
Well, that was for round number 1. Now we head to round number 2. As we can see, we're gonna try a different style bit. I think we've gotten and we've learned how to respect our enemies here a little bit more from the start of Go Next, and not to underestimate the muscle sheeps, as we've done it in round number 1. There's a lot we need to improve on and also need to be careful of. Notice, you know, a little bit of a good pace here coming through. Cassie finds himself another kill, but also Hypes gets himself also another one. There we have it. 2 kills fallen in the first 40 seconds of this round. It is the Fenrir and the Legion gone. We do have a trade from Shinny. But that's basically it. They may have lost their bug, but they've gotten 2 kills instead of that, which honestly is and will fall in the favor of Dyavoli.
Definitely feels like Dyavoli is ready and prepped here for that play day. Yes, they have been struggling recently, but that also means they've had a long time to just figure out what isn't working. Maybe replacing a player or two, maybe just re-rolling the players of what roles they should play and also which roles they commit into the team. Maybe also work a little bit on team play and team communication. And we just immediately see that these attacks they have been coming into here already in round number 2 seem very coordinated, very team-based, as we just mentioned. Chalet is a map that you're forced to play alongside each other, where you can have a small peak holes here and there to do some individual plays. But immediately the thing that surprised me here that we see Dyavoli moving alongside as a unit very early on.
So free slowly but steady, the time is taken down. We're gonna have to make this entry point sooner or later, but also open up a few walls, because so far every single individual wall has stayed close. Kate's doing a great job so far, just making sure these walls stay closed. As now, finally, Firmus gets to its shop, opening up the first wall. C4 comes through. It's not gonna find anyone as the flashbangs come through as well. Dyavoli looking here for a few entry picks, and from the looks of it, they're looking like they could be getting one soon as the next flashbang comes through. Completely flashbanged. Mira just running through, finding ourselves now on the bomb side. 4 against 2. 2 men standing from the side of Go Next. All they need to do is find 4 kills, but they can't because they're going to be denied immediately within the second they peek. And now we have it. Second round favoring yet again the attack.
I would just say it just brings along what we have recently just spoken about, that there are like certain momentas where you just see that Dyavoli looks quite stronger than they have performed from their stats as well. And you just see that NXT might not feel comfortable in this scenario. We just looked into the bans, and also that one thing that surprised me a little bit, that NXT had the last ban to just commit in and just maybe choose which map we are seeing today. They had the open pick between Chalet and Cafe. NXT is known to play a lot, and they have the past 2 months, they've only played big scale maps, and they have played very well in those. But I can't quite understand why they chose Chalet above Cafe, as they recently also just won Cafe 7-3 on South Breach against a team that is quite a little bit better resumed than Dyavoli. That is the thing that I didn't quite catch. And I would say that is one of the choosings that NXT has maybe have done a little bit, I would say, unawaited, but also maybe without having the eyes on what Dyavoli likes and loves to play. As we just saw, Chalet is their favorite map, and that is also a map that you know for a fact. If someone is favorizing on Chalet, you never play Chalet against a team. The same thing is, if a team is clearly favorizing Skyscraper, you never play Skyscraper against that team.
The stats speak for them. And he also dying there to a cheeky spawn pick. Could have been the opening pick, could have been something juicy. But also 2 already defensive rounds lost. The side of Go Next, they cannot bring them back anymore. So if they want to end up here with the upper hand, they need to win the next 4 rounds in a row if they want to make this a 2-4. Because as soon as Dyavoli pick up this next round, it will mean they have already secured the neutral swap. Which, let's be honest, when you are on the attacking team, that favors you so much. Also considering, as you already mentioned, this is their best map. And it is definitely showing why this is their territory and why this is their playground.
Definitely, there's like no room here to declare why is this their best map. They're struggling. They're definitely not struggling after all. Maybe now NXT is looking a little bit better as they find these kills, though. They find these angles. Maybe they have found these right observation ways. Maybe they have also figured out these lacking points of Dyavoli that they may have been discovering.
You see peeking around trying to get a few kills here. So now we have the first few response from the side of Dyavoli as we pick up one of the players from Go Next. But there's 4 more players we need to kill in order to win this round. As half the round is now passed. It is left up now to the last of the 1 minute and 20 seconds soon left. We know kind of where our opponents are, but not completely. We need to figure out a plan now, because the longer we wait, the longer time we stall, the more difficult it's going to be in the late game.
As more time you just let pass, it's harder it will get. That's not only because there's a lot of footage that you need to just discover through, it's also a lot of square rooms that you need to just roam through and also gain your access points from. As we have one on that window, on bathroom, we have one outside double window, and we have outside entering from fireplace. You just see the complete differences falling back on position on site, and that also means they're not in position where they say we want to actively play against Dyavoli. We will want them to come a little bit closer to that spawn site and see if we can maybe mark them out in a dangerous position.
So but steady 25 seconds left on this round. As we can see, the planned adaptation was made, but can they execute it in the last 20 seconds? As they need to get 4 kills, they need to get 4 clean headshots if they want to make this. But the longer they wait, the longer time they stall, the less unlikely it's going to happen as they swing around the corner. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's how easy it can go. Go Next, they pick up the first round on the defensive side. It is going to be the top floor side, which I actually said that is the third side you should be going to. Is actually one of the sides they pick up the first victory. But the first two sides I kind of mentioned and said, yeah, you should be going here. Kind of lost. So, sorry guys. May have jinxed it a little bit.
I would say the thing that we saw here, the first round was very much concluded by a lucky play for Dyavoli, but it's a multi-elevation defense that went in the wrong hands. Once again, they tried to play it with multiple elevations and basement, and it didn't work out for them as Dyavoli just saw these lacks, saw these holes, and just put some pressure on those elevations and immediately cleared them out. I would say we immediately in the third round saw a more linear play. We just saw that they were defending on the top end level, didn't move below or anywhere else, and that is the focus point. But I want to say maybe NXT's key against Dyavoli is to play a linear defense instead of having a multi-elevation defense.
10 seconds to insertion.
How will they adapt?
How will
It is
they
the
adapt?
next round, you know, like it is the next round. They now know how Dyavoli attacked this the first time, but let's be honest, it was a little bit of a rush, it was a little bit of a quick take, so you wouldn't, from the side of Dyavoli, you wouldn't really try to do it again because you're expecting your opponents to adapt to that strat. So what is Dyavoli going to do different now? Have Go Next prepared somewhat of a backup plan to work against it, because already we can see their attacking is now completely focused on the other side of the map.
I would say it's a little bit harsh to say. In some sort, I don't really know how I would say that. I don't really know how to see promptly if I could potentially see where these potential win gates were for NXT, and neither do I see the next opening for Dyavoli, as now we're seeing some adaptations. You called upon once earlier. Azami, Walden, we have already lost 1 minute and 5 seconds, now 10 seconds. We have not been close to just clearing or setting some pressure on these operators. And as long as they withhold Mazine, there's no clear way for you to enter those areas. As we saw other type of approach, that approach doesn't come in this round, as we don't see any overrunning scenarios coming in here in that library section. Neither do we see a Maverick coming in from below to just mock out that stock area. But we don't have a mirror in play. We don't have a mirror in play in that bar game section. That also means we don't have an active player, most likely in storage.
As we can see, we're getting rid of a lot of this utility, and as you already mentioned, as I already said, getting rid of these two players is going to be very, very difficult because the time is ticking down, and sooner or later they're gonna have to do an execute. They're gonna have to try to get these players out if they want to take the top floor side. But it's not only 2 but also 3. So we can see Shinny is also up there with them, trying to defend as much and as long as they can. So now entering the last 50 seconds of this round. So we can see the first 3 flashbangs coming through, same as the nades. Go Next, instead of defending that, instead of fighting against it, they decided to fall back completely and just give up the space on the top floor side to their opponents. Now that could really fight back a little bit.
It could fight a little bit back, but it's also one more thing to keep in mind. We have one guy coming in with a deep flank here in the hands of Redensky. And also another thing here is if you fall back in that bottom floor, you're locking yourself down in these smaller rooms like Mudroom. You also fall back on that library stairs going down into blue. Is that the key against Dyavoli as they're pushing through? And then I think we have the first answer. Is that the key?
There we have it. A flawless round and the response to Bar and Gaming. A second time they pull off to win this bomb site, and this time with a completely new strat. And we were stressing how important it is the top floor. Now, my key issue here from the side of Go Next is the fact that they had the time, they had the space, and they completely gave it away. Yes, considering they have not lost a single manpower, they have not lost a single player, to then play the bomb side, to try to play down below, to wait for the opponents to push you. But the problem is, the top floor side is so important when it comes to Bar and Gaming. And there we saw how crucial it actually is when you just give it to the opponents in their hand. That round, it looked really good for Go Next, but giving up the top floor is that's where I saw the main issue there, why they have lost that round.
Yeah, that was definitely the main issue. And the thing that I just want to keep in mind here is, previously they won that round. They won round number 4, now round number 3, in the matter of, okay, we have stolen them enough time. Let's move back and move close, gather as a unit, and just play them out if they want to commit in from any angles. We have multiple players to aim off these angles, also play alongside each other and help out each other, so they won't commit any pressure on our side. That did work well for NXT, but the thing here is, as soon as you move downstairs, you don't have the availabilities and also not the possibilities to crowd yourself, as the spot is a little bit, I would say, very much smaller than you have on top floor. There are like the standard space that you move in. You move into stairways down on blue. You move down into the mudroom. You move one guy in bar. You have one in stocks. The last guy is always going for I would say, for a flank. The flank immediately gets caught off. That's a guy that is searching for these kids, maybe disrupt the game flow on that bumps, and also maybe push away a little bit from the distress of the team. That didn't work.
As we tried to take away the control from the side of Go Next onto the opposite side, we were completely denied as our Blitz and our Thinker both fall each. Another player as well. And now we find ourselves in a 2v5 scenario. We tried to pull over Rush. It did work in the first one we played against this team, but now they prepared for it. It will not work twice. And that is the issue here, because now they find themselves in a really sticky position. In a 2v5 scenario, yes, they have still half the run remain to try to work something out. But let's be honest, a 2v5 should never go in your hands. Should never be won by the team who has the madness advantage. But also, on the other hand, let's be honest, they can allow themselves to try out a few things because they already have 3 attacks, meaning they've already secured themselves the neutral split.
They're definitely already gained themselves the neutral split, even though I think that Dyavoli should look into maybe getting one more point, especially because of the fact that we know that they're struggling a little bit more in their own defense lines than they're doing in their attacks. Yes, they are on their best map of Chalet, but is that maybe the key of granting them that they're playing better in defense? I don't consider that the always possibility. Yes, it is a possibility, but it's not in fact the possibility that it will be that way. Even though these frags are coming in and also these bullets is raining down a little bit onto NXT, will Dyavoli find their first key back as it gets denied? And it gets denied. Flawless coming in by Dyavoli gets countered up by a flawless by Go Next. I would say that is the answer that we were looking for. The main fact that I wanted to come back to is in round number 4, they completely moved back, fall back, and really set themselves on a presentable table for Dyavoli. Immediately, they played too defensive. They saw what it costed them. They costed them the round. Immediately now, they're forcing back with a little bit more aggression, and the aggression worked quite well, I would say.
Those were 2 flawless rounds. Dyavoli just said, listen, I'm going to take myself a little bit of a flawless round. No, you're not. Go Next just replied with, you know what? If you can do flawless rounds, so can we. So both of the teams have now shown that they are capable of performing a flawless round, which can and gives us also information that it is a little bit potential of a consistent issue in both of the teams, because we saw 1v1s. We saw 1v1 in the first round on the entirety of this game. Could have been and could have indicated that this game is going to be closer. But on the other half, now we saw 2 flawless rounds, indicating again that both teams, if they play in their prime, if they're in their vibe, they'll perform what they need to perform.
Yeah.
Now, the main issue here for the side of Go Next is that they need this round desperately. When they switch to the attack, and we all know it, attack is considered weaker than the defensive side. As we can see, a little bit of a cheeky spawn pick's not going to find himself anyone. Could have been a good start in the round to find himself a kill. Now, Go Next, they need this round. And for Dyavoli, if they don't get this round, theoretically speaking, it's fine because they have the neutral split, they have the 3-3. But if the attacking side goes into the defensive rounds with 4-2 split, now that is powerful and dangerous.
Very much. It's powerful and dangerous because it disrupts you and also just gives you a lot of stress in going into your attacks. Yes, you're very confident in your own attacks. You picked Chalet over from Cafe because you think yourself confident and you say you are pretty much good and well set for this map. So you don't pick it by by any weird occasions. You pick it because you're confident on it, and you say we can come back and we can play it out of any given scenario. But the thing here is 4-2 on Chalet from defense going into attack. That's never the scenario that you're looking for. That is the horror scenario for you going into Chalet.
Could definitely be a little bit spooky. Let's go next. Find himself with a menace advantage. Already lost a man potentially here. Second one on the board, taking a lot of damage. But we have to fight back from the next. The nade comes through. We're trying to execute this play on the blue stairs, but it's just not working in our favor. As he picks up 2 kills. Bring in Go next on the board yet again. Making sure that they're not out of this round and they can still fight back. As they have not to secure themselves again. Meza, blue stairs. Again, powerful dynamic when it comes to these 2 spots. We're on the side of Dyavoli now. Well, now we are in a little bit of a tricky position. Because now we need to figure out how do we attack this? How do we get this next kill in our favor?
But also here, just look at the pure positionings coming in by GoNax players. We are having positions of just crossing each other. Every way coming in. Library stairs blocked off. Piano window blocked off. Display window blocked off. Also, the jump in onto double window of K9 is blocked off. And Dyavoli just is in the need of saying we don't have time to just lose them out. Just play them in and just maybe also gain some advantage points and then maybe advance a little bit further onto side. What happens? These crosses hit immediately as every single entryway is blocked off. Every spot seen is given and taken by NXT without further ado.
The 3-3 split, this is what GoNax needed so desperately, and they've gotten themselves a treat. Got themselves the round, which is going to be very good for them. And now we have the good old switcheroo. The attackers become now the defenders, and the defenders now become the attackers. I'm considering the defensive side, and I would still like to say that it still favors the defense side, even though Chalet is very much to a 50-50. If you look at it closely enough, you would see that the defensive side actually has a little bit more winning percentage. And let's be honest, guys, the defense just feels so much better to play in than to be the attack. We all know, we've all been there, especially when we look at our ranked games. As soon as you are on the attacking side, oh lord, those knees be shaking. The defensive side, you chilling, you vibing, you just, picking your operator, going with Meza, going into below, doing what a defender does, defending. But the knees do be shaking as an attacker.
But another thing that I just wanted to keep here in mind is like your percentage of how you play on these sides. We have multiple stats going all through every map that they play so far in the map pool. But if you look a little bit into the attack style of NXT, they win 55% of their attacks. Meanwhile, Dyavoli only wins a little bit less than 34% of their own defenses. So it definitely speaks for NXT, as they are a pretty well team if they play a little bit with aggression and also play with a high pace game play style. That could also potentially be the thing that pressures Dyavoli a little bit too much, as Dyavoli always have shown that they are a little bit lacking if you put pressure on them on multiple angles, and that already has been set in case.
Do we have an entry pick, a little bit of a cheeky trade? It's me not to try to pick up another player, but we're fighting on this window against 2 angles. We gotta be careful a little bit not to lose here, not alive. But on the mean side, on the other hand, we have just another player walking in, trying to take control, but Dyavoli is just gonna shut this player down, making sure he's not getting the space he needs. But Chinny secured himself a very good position from the looks of it. He has been giving away his position, so players know and are aware of his well-being. He's spinning around the corner. Beautiful kill there. Getting themselves, bringing back down to a 3v3, spinning around the corner, not quite finding anyone as everybody's hiding on the right sideline. Scans come through, but Cassie just gonna shut this player down. Another kill for him, a triple for his teammate. 1 player remaining, 3 players he needs to kill, but the HP is not there. Now we have the quad kill for all that. Z picks up and makes sure and secures this round for Dyavoli. There we go. The defensive round pick up the victory.
And that, my dear gentlemen and ladies out there, showcases, yes, that's a good, but it doesn't mean and define the game promptly. You can always been showcased that stats could lie. Yes, I'm the statsman, and a statsman saying that stats lie, you don't hear that often, but it is in fact the case. If you always run on stats and say you're potentially always waiting on stats, you will lose the highest. If you have the most intel and stuff, we never bet on it, you cut because you may lose.
You giving us here potential life lessons?
Maybe, maybe not. Maybe this is the first run since a while. I've had once before, and I have had one against me with you, that I can teach you a lesson that a good underdog story always begins with a
guys.
best of one.
No, guys, we can't make that happen, guys. We need to pick up the pace. What's going on here, guys? No, we can't make that happen. No, especially after you've just given us a life lesson
5 seconds left.
with the whole statistics thing. No. Can't let that happen here.
Attackers are heading out.
But one thing that I just wanted to keep on calling here. You mentioned it will be a little bit more closer match than the most people would await from, and I think that is definitely been the showcasing. And NXT growing up a little bit, coming a little bit in that game, a little bit coming closer onto Dyavoli, as they are adapting good things and just being a little bit better prepped. With a 3-3 equal split, it didn't look in their favor at first because Dyavoli picked it up quite early on. NXT had a few rounds where they just needed to find their game movement here, but immediately they took that 3-3, had a hard one in the first tech round, but can they come back though?
It's gonna be difficult to have a little bit of a fight, to have a comeback here, because Renan finds himself not being taken out as the only hard breacher from the entirety of the side of Go Next. It's because he not even can open as a swing around the corner, trying to get a desperate pick here to make it back down to a 4v4. We're gonna have to be careful because we are defending Office on the other hand. Swing around the corner, now you have it. That's what I mean. You gotta be careful. Hypes swings around the corner, gets himself another kill. Now that's a double for him. Make it a 5v1 in a second as 2 kills fall. Third one, why not? A flawless one, Dyavoli. Just switched to the defense and said, guys, we just played around on the attack. The defense is actually our groove, our vibe. And holy hypes. A triple kill in that round, securing the victory. And making it a 5-1. A clean 5-1. A clean flawless run by simply just defending Office and not giving them the space
That they need.
which, if we look back a few rounds, right, I'm not being a little bit of a nerd now. Maybe I'm being a little bit of a nerd now, guys. But if we look back
To locate and defuse the
on their attacking side, of they were attacking against Go Next, who have given up the top floor side at a specific time because they would rather keep up the man advantage. There we have it. You have the top floor control. You have the time. You have the room and space when you defend barring aiming. They got 2 victories because they had twice the top floor control.
Yeah. And I would just say, bring more life wisdom into this cast of saying, only treat your opponents as you want to be treated yourself.
Oh god, that
Yes,
no
it all
more life
began with
lessons, guys.
Dyavoli coming in with a flawless, getting re-smacked by NXT saying, we will give you that back, because if you treat us like that, we will treat you like that as well. But the thing wasn't over there, as Dyavoli said, okay, let's give them a break and just smack them a little bit later. The smack came in. Does NXT come back with a life wisdom and saying, once again, how you treat us, we will treat you, or will we go to the match point round in round number 10?
Could be a very dangerous position here for the side of Dyavoli, because they could be going to the match point and just make it a quick round. Especially the defense now seems a lot that there is a bigger gap between the teams. Ever since Dyavoli's now switched to the defensive side, it does show why it is their map pick. But I think we've gotten a little bit too aggressive there. As Hypes jumps out the window, he's going to be punished immediately by Shinny, who has just been waiting for his prey on that window. And they have now the man advantage, but let's be honest, on a basement defense with 2 C4s in your pocket, it still could go very much to Dyavoli.
It could very much go for Dyavoli, as you need a lot of time to just prep yourself for that final approach coming in on that side. Meanwhile, you also need to be aware of all these multiple occasions that is given to Dyavoli to just roam back and also get your on a flank. As we just privately saw them, they're not scared of going on flanks if they are outnumbered. They like to play aggressive. They have unique players that have a lot of potential that can bring a lot of damage to you if you maybe overdrone them or give them the space they need. But one thing more I just want to keep a mention, as I mentioned earlier, NXT gave me a life learning last time when I voted against them. That was the play of Janoski. And Janoski is not having a good game of 1 to 5. Meanwhile, also
He's not.
Devils, another player in the hand of Dyavoli, is definitely one of the players we're always looking for. He's not having a great game as well as 1-4 after 9 rounds. These players have not found their rhythm in this game.
My main issue here for the side of Go Next is that Devil. He is still up there in Baron Gaming. He's still there. Nobody has cleared him out yet. A minute is left on this run. They're trying to open up these breaches, but the Azami obviously is going to make that very, very difficult. On top of that, they still have the top floor control. They have not drawn him out. There's no camera on this player. If he comes in at the right perfect time in the right moment, he could get away with saving the entirety of the round, as we're now opening up the breaches and preparing ourselves for the execute.
And one more thing is that I both saw the Sophia looking straight on Devils, not shooting. And one more guy moving upstairs as Devils will find it first. Is it that flank coming in? Is it?
It definitely could be, but we're losing all of our members on side. Even though we have the top floor control and we had every flank secured, we've lost our bomb side. Go Next. Completely win this by taking all of these 1v1s one by one and also securing the victories. Now that is them moving closer up to the opponents, yet again make it a 5-4. But this is now a very, very... I think that round really showed how important it is to have good teamwork on site, because that round honestly,
Need to locate and
if we would have had a beautiful crossfire on site, on the bomb site, and we had the roam up above, there was no way Go Next gonna get that.
Yeah. And one key factor is that I think Devils, yes, he hasn't found his rhythm, but he played a little bit too passive. Yes, he wasn't spotted for a long time. Yes, it would have been a great danger to commit in on a gunfight with these guys in kitchen or dining space area, but he should have done that a little bit earlier, because as soon that hatch is open, you need to put pressure on the players on the hatch just to force the enemies of re-roaming back, maybe pushing you out, because as long as you have the hatch in your favor, there's no way for the defenders to move in for boiler. That was the advanced spot that they chose. IQ was already on the plan. Maybe if he would prone down, Devils would be able to see that IQ in that corner. But meanwhile, you never turn away when you have hatch, unless you get a kill. Someone is close on you on West Main. As soon as he just turned around on West Main, there was no player intended to walk up West Main. The guy outside of boiler went in the breach, looked up the hatch, and spotted you out and killed you with a few bullets in pocket. That is definitely some lags that we're seeing by Dyavoli. NXT is closing in a little bit, but still, one more round lead is still enough ground. As Dyavoli though falls in the first opening frag, but immediately refrags.
Trade does come through. Another kill will happen. Dyavoli now losing members one by one. This is not looking too great for them. Again, if they would win this one round, that would mean they're already on the match point. The more rounds they lose, the further they will go away from that victory, because Go Next win this, they bring themselves up to a 5-5, meaning they would then have also the chance for a match point. From the looks of it, Go Next, they have been preparing themselves for a really good execute here. They have everything they need. They have Solar, they have the windows. But will that be enough? Can Dyavoli deny this entry? Because they don't have anything against a plant nor a push. Ooh. There's a few bullets being shot. Lion Scan comes through. Trying to pick up here another player. Yazami's fighting for her life in closets. We tried to move out, but a split second too late as the keyboard barrier falls. So does the player. Devil is there ready to save the day. Finds a kill. Plants going down from Rancor on the other bomb site. Now we have it in the last 40 seconds. Now the defenders become the attackers. Not going to be it as we try to move in, try to get anything done. It's not going to be it, as every single individual possible rotation has been already cut off by Go Next. Now that means we are up to a 5-5, and this could be going all the way to your predictions. Onto a 7-5.
It could go all the way to my predictions. It does only mean that the next team that takes away round number 11 wins in round number 12 as well. as I would say, NXT is gaining a lot more grounds now. They're gaining a lot more momentum in these gunfights coming in. They're looking way stronger than they did before. And I would say Dyavoli now slacking off a little bit, struggling to commit in these gunfights, and maybe also find the right moments to either retreat or push on to NXT. Is that the key factor why NXT is looking stronger? I wouldn't say that. NXT has multiple other factors as well playing in their favors. And I would say Dyavoli has multiple things they need to be adapting on now, also putting a little bit more pressure back on the NXT players to just figure out a way to come back here and also regain that lead. As we're back on their favorite bomb site in games and ball, they previously won it with a flawless, putting on a lot of pressure on NXT, not giving them any grounds to play from or either move from. In that way, is this 11th round the round that Dyavoli is looking forward to already secure themselves OT, maybe also the match point for round number 12?
Who do you think is going to get the first match point here?
Who's going to get it? I would say I'm holding with Dyavoli as it is their bomb site that they just previously showed such a doministic playthrough. But meanwhile, we would definitely look back on NXT as NXT is definitely doing pretty well lately in these last attacks.
So I've not got a clear answer here, not gonna lie with you. You're trying to slinger around the question and be like, yeah, this team is pretty good, this team is good. Which team do you think is gonna get the match point?
Dyavoli.
Oh, there we have the answer. Beautifully. As your prediction may be now shut down, as Cassie's gonna fall from the side of Dyavoli. Now this, it's truly putting a smile on my face. Maybe at the end of the day, it's not going to be a lesson for you. A lesson for me, rather. For you, Shinny finds himself another kill to Devil. And here we have it, Go Next, showing the true colors. The aggression you've spoken way early. As soon as they switched on the attack, you spoke about aggression from the side of Go Next. And they have been showing, especially now in this round. Now we find ourselves in a 3v5. Not looking too good for the side of Dyavoli. From the looks of it, Go Next. We've just picked up a few kills. Now they're completely just gonna swap around.
But also the game plan has been going a little bit more static now for NXT. NXT is trying to move, but as soon as they move, they're being catched off guard. As Cypher, though, looks pretty much open for these gunfights since he's gaining the first against Shinny. And if you look on the clock, yes, the clock is still able. There's still enough time on the cards here for NXT, but the time is ticking down against their favor. Meanwhile, Janoski gets the next kill. And also Wrecker is on the bomb side, figuring out on going on the planter, but Hypex shuts him down. So Diffuser on side, and time is ticking away as we only got 50 seconds left. This it be enough time for NXT, or is it not?
Ooh, 50 seconds left in a 1v2 scenario. We were in a 2v2, but our teammate fall. 28 HP left as the bomb now also goes down as we try to get the information where it is, but it is not bangable. Fortunately, you're gonna have to take the kill, but Stock is still open. Cypher gets the kill. Position himself in a 1v1 scenario. Now, the Diffuser is in Stock. He's gonna have to face the same hole. He's gonna have to pick the same little tiny itchy hole. But it's fine. Because we got the Diffuser, we can go down with the plan. All we need to do is stick the plan. It is 12 seconds left on the bomb clock. From the looks of it, we don't know where the plan is. We just stand up. We're not planning behind cover. That's how easy it can go. Dyavoli, and you said it. Pick up the match point in this round. What a turn of events. This round should have not went to the side of Dyavoli. Let's be honest here for a sec.
It shouldn't have gone in the hands of Dyavoli. I'm totally agreeing with you with that. And the key factor of why they shouldn't have won it is the fall of Hypex. Hypex did a great kill on the first plant trial here from above on the hatch in library. But as soon as he falls, we have Cypher on low HP against 2. And also the first plant position of the Thermite was so big and so huge for them. It wasn't bangable from below. You needed that Solus to swing. You had a Capito watching your 6 from behind, couldn't have completely aimed you off. The only angle that you could have been crossed from is Bluestairs. And the thing of, if you were crossed from Bluestairs, you would have lost the Capito. You wouldn't have lost the Thermite, but we could have planted through and repositioned himself without any intel given through this for the Solus. That round was pretty much ungivable for Dyavoli, and they took it as NXT had some major flops in that last approach.
Oh, Mighty, we find ourselves again in the same position. We've been here multiple times, Mighty. You know exactly what question is coming to you.
Dyavoli closes out.
Ooh. So for the ones who may have not been watching us for too much, usually at this point I will be asking, is it going to go overtime or is this going to be the end of the match? Is Dyavoli going to close this up? So 6-6, overtime, or a close up. You saying it's going to be a 7-5. You're going to stick to your predictions you made at the beginning. And you know what? I'm just going to stick to mine. I'm saying this is going to be a 6-6. You know, I'm seeing Go Next win this because if you look back in the past with my magical glass bulb, Go Next won this round. You know what I mean? Just looking, if I look back, oh yeah, it was Dyavoli losing a lot of players and Go Next actually nearly winning the round flawlessly. So it's not, you know, the stats, your statistics are actually speaking against you.
The stats are speaking completely against you, but the thing here is there are multiple things here in perspective. NXT is the favorite. They have a lot of pressure of the favorite position against them. They have not left that off, especially with another thing in the perspective of that they now are in the lower hand. They need to win this with a lot of force of saying we need to win this round to gain overtime. The same was, okay, we were in the defensive side. We need to win multiple rounds to have the upper hand as we are favored in defense going into attack on Chalet. They didn't make these pressure rounds that they so dearly needed. They only made the rounds that really must have counted for them in the latest rounds in the first half. The thing they are struggling with pressurizing rounds, and this is definitely one of them, as we have already lost 1.5 minutes and there's pretty much no real entering happening so far by NXT committing onto that side.
We still have secured the top floor side, but the middle floor side is just going to be a little bit of an issue. Remember last time that we didn't completely roam clear everything, and that did bite us back a little bit. Instead of Dyavoli, we've now decided to just all go back to side and just make sure that we are ready in there to fix our mistakes from the rounds before. But there's still one more roamer roaming above, doing the Ds, doing exactly that he's done before, waiting for his opportunity and waiting for his time to shine. As we're now soon entering the last 50 seconds of this round with a lot of vertical gameplay from the side of Next. So now they also Sophia stands coming through in the impacts. If we try to walk in, we could be going over plan on that. We have it planned. Is going to be stick slowly but steady. C4 comes out. It's not going to find anyone. Goyo's going to pop. We're going to have to move. 2 players fall one by one in a 4v3. Go Next are not looking to good here in order to close this up. From the looks of it, 20 seconds left in the round, and one by one they fall down. Dyavoli, they had the win in their hands. All it takes is to take these kills one by one, but it is Go Next at the end who are going to position themselves with the upper hand of a man advantage in a 1v2 scenario. They swing around the corner, not looking at the right position, and there we have it. We're going overtime.
It looked so good, but it still was so far away. Dyavoli coming in with the right moments, popping a Goyo like a king, but then having struggles of closing it out. And the most unfortunate thing is, you know for a fact, every single time there's one standing either Olsen Boiler aiming off the diffusive carrier or standing in that hallway. So what do? You watch every crosses meanwhile trespassing. You don't watch a cross, you're giving away, and not only giving, but you're throwing away rounds. That's what's happened here by Dyavoli. Unfortunately, as bad as it sounds, but that was a throwaway from Dyavoli, as well as also the Tuber was a little bit too aggressive on that hatch, from my opinion. Shouldn't just have waited, as the time was completely ticking away and ticking against NXT, as NXT was forced to do something. They did that, and they immediately went of saying, okay, Dyavoli played a lot of aggression against us, so they will have aggressive positions. Immediately, they look at these aggressive positions that they have lost against Dyavoli, figure out where Dyavoli is positioned, and lock them out. So it means overtime, 6-6, another equal standing after the second half. Overtime, do we see? Okay, I will bring another call to you. I won't force you to say who you think will win. I will force another thing. Do you think we will see round number 14 early, or do you think we will go all the way to 15?
Ooh, that's a spicy question. I'm not gonna lie with you.
because of the
You know,
I
it
would say
feels
of
like,
the
you know, I'm the
balancement.
vibe. You know, I'm the vibe caster tonight. You know, I'm from the vibes of it, what I'm getting,
Yeah,
I do feel like there's gonna be 15 rounds. The
me too. Me
vibes
too.
are telling me 15 rounds. Because we've gone next in the defense, and they show that they can perform in the defense. But on the next round, we're gonna have Diavoli in the defense. So here again, you can always use this argument with, you know, defense wins stronger, you know, should be winning.
Mm.
But I do think we're going to see 15 rounds because so far, what we've seen from both the teams, they can make adaptations to each other. They can adapt in the rounds itself, but they can completely throw off their opponents. It works both sides.
Yeah, as we just see, if we look into the sets of this map, we have a 50% win rate on both sides, and both defense and attack for both teams. So it means that it's very much mixed through. But another thing that it means it is fucking balance between these two. There is no split room between these two teams in either side. So it isn't nothing to be preferred in defense or attack between these two teams in this matchup. So it could either go in the hands of Diavoli or in the hands of NXT. And because it is so close and so balanced, I would say we go to round number 15, as these teams are definitely wanting to clash each other all the way to the finish line.
So after round has passed, now as we can see, now we also have the first opening pick. Hype's going to find himself Shinny of the board. This one of the two players that's been performing the best from the side of Nexus. Another player is going to fall. Now we have it at 5v3, but let's not be greedy. Because we know this can turn around quite quickly, but Go Next are taking so much damage. Every single player so far has taken a little bit of damage. And another player is going to be injured and it's going to fall in 8 seconds. We now run onto side, trying to get this plan now. Swinging around the corner, Mira is ready to save the day, but it's not going to be enough as he gets 1 kill, but there's 4 more standing. We swing around the corner, find 1, but with 7 HP left on our HP bar. Is not going to be that easy to get this 1v4 clutch, as Devil is truly awaiting us around the corner. And this is Diavoli picking up the round on the attacking side.
And looking very strong here. They put on a lot of pressure. Once again, Diavoli in attack a little bit better than they're in their own defenses, putting on a lot of pressure as they've previously shown us, and when they were last in the attacks, putting on pressure from multiple angles, just playing every player one by one by one by one, just locking them away from each other. As I previously mentioned in the preface of this game, try to lock away NXT from each other so they can't play as unit, as teams, or maybe as duos, just to make it a little bit harder for them to refrag each other. Here, the same thing happens. You lock them away from each other, you block all these rotation ways. They can't rotate anywhere. They can't rotate into bathroom. They can't rotate into master. They can't rotate through hallway into piano. There's no rotation ways given. So you lock them off and they just put pressure. You drone them out, put pressure from multiple sides, and just mock up one by one by one by one. And that way, they've only won them now. NXT struggling a little bit in the defense lines. They did it a little bit to themselves as they just blocked themselves in positions. Didn't have a castle to just grant them some rotation ways and also maybe falling back a little bit. Also, the last player in the hands of NXT, in the hands of Fender, was a little bit too far away from my opinion, especially when the team should have called that we are getting full throttled forced from the other section of Solar and also Master Bedroom.
You know, it is sad to think that this match is already going to end in the potential next 2 rounds. This could be over in this one, a singular round. It could be over and make it a 8-6. Let's be honest, that's not going to be the case. You know, Go Next going to pick up the victory here. You know, I'm not going to play into your favor here. I know, I see you laughing, guys. See that smile over there. You're completely doubting me, but I'm still believing in the Go Next team.
I'm always believing in both teams. Yes, I have my favorite. Yes, I have done my voting. I've done my prediction, but still, I'm very much open to be, I would say, convinced of the other's side. So if they can prove me wrong, and they can prove that the other better team, they definitely deserve to have that win in their pocket. And it's of the upper hand in this round number 11, round number 14.
Remember last time Diavoli was defending this? They got a opening pick by a Storm Peak, and after that they were just playing Office and Jungle to keep the control, to make sure they cannot get this wasted. Gotten that controls already. They've wasted quite a lot of time, But unfortunately, we've also lost a member. He's Zami, our little architect who can create and cover holds.
Moving
we
on
go
for
for
that
this
round,
round.
but still there's a lot of timing. I've already been taken down in the hands and favor of NXT. And also it is the bombs that we need to play onto multiple elevations. I won't say anything much.
Yeah, we have it one by one. All of a sudden, we find ourselves in a little bit of a dilemma. We're in a 2v4, but
Attackers have recovered
the Lion managed to get himself back up by help from his teammates. Only up Shinny, who's left, is also now back upstairs. And then we have it, another kill. He's all up to Devil in a 1v3 scenario, but two of these enemies are very low HP. Single bullet would be enough to get them out of the game, but also it is a one-shot headshot game. All you need is 3 headshots and you would get this victory. But the same goes to you, as Shinny's gonna be the one to take and give the 1 bullet in the head. And now we have it. We're going all the way to 15 rounds. I said it. It is
Happily.
the Vibecaster tonight, guys.
Happily, we can finally agree on one thing, and that is we go the full distance of 15 rounds. And there's one more thing that we can definitely agree upon, and that is this matchup definitely deserved the full distance.
Definitely, as already said in the beginning, the players themselves have a lot of history. They are already known within the scene from both of the teams. You have Cypher, you have Devil, you have Cassie, you have Hypes. All of these players who have and are known within the scene. And on the other hand, you have Josk, you have Ranker, you have Shinny, Renan, and also the entirety of the Go Next roster, who has also, again, in other open qualifiers, have proven how strong they can be and how strong they are. So when it comes to experience, these two teams aren't that far apart from each other. But also when it comes to individual skill, here yet again, aren't that far apart from each other. And this is why I said early in the beginning that this is going to be way closer than a lot of people expect. And I do love to see the fact that we are going all the way to 15 rounds here, because this is what this matchup really truly deserved. But it comes down to this last round. The attacking side, if we look at it, have now the upper hand because each team have won 4 rounds on the attacking side. So if we go by your statistics, right, you're the statistics guy here, I'm doing your work right here, you know, throwing a little bit of shade here, Dyavoli should be taking this. But if we look on the other hand, Go Next, they have been adapting each individual round, and this is one of the bomb sites they have originally won.
And not only that, but if we just look a little bit back on the plays that I just previously mentioned on in both hand sides, we have Devils that has committed back from a 1-5 into a 6-9, still going negative. Meanwhile, Janoski has recovered himself from a 1-5 as well, going 8-8 in the past rounds. He's been moving a lot of things. He's done a lot of good for his team here. And in these last rounds that we have practically seen, also as well in these overtime rounds so far, he's done some very good plays for his team. So these players have also adapted, they have found their flow in this match. So it is very much a promptly to see if NXT is still having the upper hand, as they now have 5 equal players, or if Dyavoli is just a little bit too strong in that last attack as they put on pressure on NXT's defense.
Slowly but steady, we can see them trying to take this control. Now have quite established that. So we have now figured out where these players are playing, and now we need to get rid of them. But Shinny is playing a very powerful operator because he is in a death position. He knows these players are going to come for him, but all he can do is he can just move out, go to the next round, and give away the position. There we have it. Beautiful. Half the round has passed. They've now just secured the space, and all of the 10 players are still alive and still healthy. And as I say that, just the moment I say that, Cassie is going to find himself a kill.
As he found the first kill, so they've definitely found out there's one guy deep standing and having that late angle onto library stairs. That was a great play to just mock and clear out, as that was the last defender in line. They could have done a roam way, or better say, get a good flank on these guys that just are previously taking library, as we're now having more control in the hands of the attackers, but the attackers are running low on time. Still, the breach down low isn't open, and also the top floor control isn't established right off this moment. So it is a risky take to go on and beyond with this attack. They don't have the time to do much more work. All they're prepped and all they're set with the right amount of intel to gain their plays. Rudensky is prepped and ready with that C4 in hand.
Ranker gets himself a kill into Devil, make it back down to a 4v4. The 2C4s are gonna really come in handy in the last 20 seconds of this round. Top 4, as I said, still under control from the side of Go Next. This is looking like a really good defensive side. All they need to do is make sure they don't lose to these individual fights. Now we have it 2 on the board, make it 4! Go Next, pick up the 15th round, make it an 8-7 at the end of the day. They prove that they got this best of one under their control with a truly hard-fought victory.
Definitely, it was a hard-fought victory, and as I say, I'm not saddened about that Dyavoli doesn't take this map home, as it just got proved wrong. And what way I did got proved wrong. Both teams gave their all, and they definitely fought it out until the very end of round number 15. Yes, NXT had some small lacks in the beginning of that round, but immediately the big impact that we always talk about is that 3 minutes time schedule limit. You don't have more time. The only more time that you get is if you plan in the right second and set that planner down to gain you another 7 seconds to conclude it. But as soon as this seems, NXT found the right ways to block off a lot of time, steal a lot of time off the clock of Dyavoli. Dyavoli was not able to regain back access with that few time given left, as these last flanks they wanted to set and also put some pressure on the top 4 didn't work. They got knocked out, killed, and that way they don't gain any access to the site. So well done by NXT. Great last defense. So they equalize themselves on having 4 defense round wins and also having these 4 attack round wins. So I can say I'm convinced that team definitely deserved that win.
They definitely did. But also here again, a lot of these rounds are very close. And also the scoreline, holy was the scoreline close. We had a little bit of a 5-3 scenario, thinking Dyavoli is just going to run away with a cheeky little win there, make it a quick one, but it wasn't the case. Go Next, they picked themselves up and said, guys, we need to fix a few things here and just change a few things. And they exactly did that and got themselves the victory. This was, unfortunately, I'm going to have to break it to you guys yet again, the only game of tonight. The only match. And what a match. And I think for the only match we had today, we had one of the best matches all the way to 15 rounds on Chalet against 2 teams again, where it should have been close. It was close, but the rounds itself were also really close. We only had 3
flawless rounds, yes.
3 flawless rounds in the entirety of 15 rounds. So that already, I think, gives us a good indicator of these 2 teams. I think they definitely are going to make it really far here. But do you have anything more to say, Mighty?
No, I don't. Unfortunately, as we mentioned, it was the only match of tonight. We should have deserved more, but it wasn't given to us. But still, I was happy and glad that Voltage had me. I'm so happy to cast alongside you, but there's not only these casters working for Voltage, we also have a dear producer, Zane, and also we have Timash on the observing. Without you guys, we couldn't do this stream, so big thanks and props goes out to you guys. Thank you for having us.
Thank you guys so much, and also thank you guys to the viewers and the players, because we need the players to spectate, and we need the viewers to enjoy it. So hope all of you enjoyed this game today, and I'm gonna wish you guys a wonderful evening, wonderful night, a wonderful day, wherever you are around this world. Have a beautiful time, and see you guys next time at Voltage League. Just stay tuned, and keep an eye on the Twitter, guys. Make sure to follow it. See you guys. Bye-bye.
I must have went blind tonight, cause I swear that you out of sight. Man, I'm so up, I could be a pilot, and I just hope trying to catch a flight. So let me get the digits. I call right now if you're with it. I seen 1,000 pretty girls in this room. $1 and I've been looking for you. I've been searching, it's so hard to find a girl who's one of a kind. Cause being alone just isn't cool. I'll take 1,000 trips around the world just so I could find you, girl. Cause darling,